Over the 3.5 years that I have been on YouTube, I have become a professional at 2 things, possibly 3. The first, I have managed to successfully avoid any and all internet drama like a pro. I know, achievement unlocked. The second, I guess, is the maybe one, is that I skeptic clone like a pro. Amazing, I know. And the third, which is the second actual one, is I've become a bit of a connoisseur of the Sammich. And this all started, as many of you know, because of the running joke with Karen Strawn and Cenk Uygur, which I appropriated when I asked someone to make me a sandwich, which then led to people in the comments indicating that they themselves would make me sandwiches, and they did, and it spiraled out of control. I have over 100 videos in my spank bank of these glorious videos that were made for me. I really should extend that to pictures. Yeah, I think I will. If you're at all interested in submitting one, by all means do so, via email or Twitter or something, I don't know. Now, the reason I mentioned the Sammich part is because I couldn't help but notice that a Sammich made the news. And this was no ordinary Sammich. This was a sexist Sammich, which I think we can all agree has us curious. What on earth about this Sammich could be so sexist? Could it be exclusionary of men? I mean, we could say it could exclude women, but since they make the Sammich, that makes no sense. There's no logic in it. So I think what we should do first is have a look at the Sammich that has sparked the outrage, that has led to Waitrose themselves changing the name of this supposedly sexist chicken sandwich because of complaints. So what we have here is the Gentleman's Smoked Chicken Caesar Roll, pioneered by Heston Blumenthal, some really fancy chef dickhead. Didn't he come up with snail porridge? I like porridge, but I'm not sure I like snail cum in my porridge. There's already a weird line there with porridge anyway. Moving on, I think what we need to do now is know what is in the sandwich. I think that would help us best understand what it is about this that makes it a gentleman's sandwich. It is a Parmesan ciabatta roll. I like ciabatta rolls actually, they're quite nice. Filled with pulled smoked chicken breast. I'm just going to say this now, the pulled meat thing is a bit of a fad I never really got. I have friends that go nuts over pulled pork and I don't get it. It just looks shredded to me. Beechwood smoked bacon, well, bacon is good. And Parmigiano Reggiano. If I've butchered that, I just don't care. All topped with anchovy, mayonnaise and cos lettuce for crunch. Now on the face of it, I think we can all agree this can easily be resolved and made into an official gentleman's sandwich by simply removing everything but the roll and the bacon. I personally am not huge on mayonnaise, so that can definitely go, but as it turns out, that anchovy mayonnaise is where the name comes from for gentleman. See, it comes from patum peperium, aka the gentleman's relish. Now this is a relish that has been going on for quite some time. It's not something I personally like, but I wouldn't go so far as to deny people the right to have fishy mayonnaise in their sandwiches, which does baffle me as far as taste goes when you add other meats like chicken and bacon. Adding fish to that as well seems a bit complex for me, or too complicated for one's palate. But I will say this now, I am going to make it a point to acquire some of this gentleman's relish, and I'm going to attempt to make this sandwich myself. Now with the faux outrage, it does show just how fickle the upper middle class supermarket is. For those not British, Waitrose is probably one of the highest brow places you can go to get food. It is mocked on a regular basis for the quality of the products they sell, as well as those that frequent their supermarkets. For example, a regular joke touted would include, "Can you please tell me where I would find the peacock food? Can someone please direct me to the yacht aisle?" The list really does go on. Hell, I have a story of my own for you if you would like to hear it. In my 3rd year of university, one of my university housemates was telling me how poor he was and how he might not be able to go food shopping, to which I reached up into the cupboard on his shelf, put down on the counter a tin of Waitrose lentils that he owned, and informed him that him being poor was utter bollocks because this tin of lentils begged to differ. I know, hilarious. Now we will get to some of the complaints in a moment, but I do want to conclude before we go to those with the statement that a Waitrose spokeswoman had put out with regards to the sandwich and the offence taken, where they have said, It's never our intention to cause offence. We are not dictating who should eat this sandwich. We hope anyone who tries it will love the distinct flavours, however we are planning to change the name of the sandwich soon. What they should have done was simply say, the sandwich is named because of the relish. It's not even a special sandwich. In fact, the one major thing I can take from this is that even though it only has a 2-star rating out of a possible 5, which could probably be attributed to the overly complex flavours that I earlier mentioned, it still managed to sell out and is also more expensive than most of the other sandwiches on offer, at 15 pence more expensive. Clearly, the publicity the sandwich got led to an increase in people wanting to try it. Don't you just love it when negative publicity turns out to be good publicity? It is, by the way, a crying shame that Waitrose is kowtowed so easily and given in because a gendered word has been introduced, and naturally that is the enemy and must be quashed because it is Y chromosome related. So now perhaps we should address the tweet that features heavily in this article by Amy Lamy? The accent over the E confuses me. Let's call her Amy Lame. I never knew sandwiches were gender specific. I'm female, but thankfully Waitrose let me purchase this anyway. I personally, when I saw the tweet, thought it was sarcastic anyway and just tongue-in-cheek. I didn't read so much into it because, let's face it, there are plenty of things in this world that are gender specific. Let's start with mother care. Or if we're going to be relevant to the subject matter of this video, how about Ladies' Choice Sandwich Spread? Yeah, that's actually a thing. That's very sexist. Isn't ladies spelt wrong? Isn't it L-I-D-I-E-S? Lady is choice? You know, I don't care enough. As far as I'm concerned, the tweet's amusing. That's what I thought. But I did notice a few tweets on Twitter that equally were of the trolling kind. Waitrose, I have just been to one of your stores and am offended by one of your products. Pink lady apples? How sexist. Please don't let the Twitterati dictate policy outgrows you slip into farce. I have no idea what that means. Bring back Heston gentleman rolls, even though I don't believe they are that good. And we'll cover one more tweet that I found that was quite amusing. Waitrose is renaming their gentleman's roll sandwich after claims it is sexist. Other new gender-neutral foods that will be made available include human fingers, plow person's pickle, and eggs binary. That's one of my favourites. In fact, if that person, cleverly news that is, had made that into a poll for a possible future sandwich creation or amendment, maybe Waitrose should do it instead. I think it would be very amusing. If you want to quell the outrage, because it's men mostly that are the victims of the outrage it would seem, own it. Simply own it. And make money off it. That is the purpose of a business after all. It is not to appeal to the common person if you're Waitrose, is it? I'm pretty sure there's a dress code of at least 3-piece suit for men, smart shoes of course, and for ladies, well, they can't go unattended of course, and we can't see those ankles either. That would be very slutty, and inappropriate for somewhere like Waitrose, where you will hear someone say the following: "Darling, do we need Parmesan for both houses?" Or, "I'd never accept anything less than an inquisitively laid egg on my breakfast table." And finally, "I went to Asda once, and the checkout assistant didn't even know what Cambozula was. Rough as dogs." There is a clear line in class between that of those that shop in Waitrose and that of those who shop in Asda. As I've been to both, I can safely say yes, there is a difference. In Asda, you can touch the vegetables. In Waitrose, the vegetables are coated in plastic. Hell, the coconuts have a ring pull in Waitrose. To summarise the sandwich, the outrage is worthless. It is just another one of those really out-there concoctions that is overly complicated, well, it sounds it anyway, which I think defeats the point of a sandwich. A sandwich is to be consumed at lunchtime normally, as that thing between breakfast and dinner, where you have proper meals. It's to keep you going. It's not meant to make you sit there and think. I will have to, of course, get this sandwich at some point and let you know myself what I think. But if the 2-star rating is anything to go by, I doubt I'll be impressed. So I hope everyone has a lovely Monday, and thank you all for listening.
Oh, goddowns.
In your ass.
Imagine my shock